Hello and thanks for joining us for the program this week. Welcome to Take Two as we reflect over the past week of racing on our New South Wales provincial and country tracks. And over the course of the next half hour, there's plenty to get through.
Racing today here at Casino, Monday the 18th of August. Had a beautiful weather for today's meeting, but we were racing on a heavy 9 track. And my Take Two horse comes out of race 4 is True Fairy. You'll pick her up in the orange colours. About the 600 metre mark, she's about 3 or 4 lengths off him.
True Fairy on the inside of Labana. 1.5 My Girl Zali. 3 lengths to Shine Like It Does, and Bad Boy Derby had dropped out to be last in a strung out field as Megan leads around the bend with 350 to go in the straight. Megan in front of Gavin. Risk for Reward is 3 out. They're clear of Gaming, and then True Fairy and Son of Heroic running on. Risk for Reward and Gavin moved up. 150 metres left to go. True Fairy comes around their heels. Risk for Reward. True Fairy. My Girl Zali's got right up on the inside, and the girl's gone home the best. My Girl Zali from True Fairy.
Yeah, she runs into a little bit of trouble there. She just had to alter course down the straight, but I thought she hit the line quite nicely. That was over the 1400. I'd like to see her step up to the mile in her next start and ridden back off the speed, get to the outside. I think she'll hit the line very well. My second Take Two horse comes out of race 5. Was actually the winner, Glam. You'll pick her up. She's about 4th or 5th in the run, about 5 lengths off the leaders, getting into the top of the straight.
The 6th pole, Archie Maximus moved 2 lengths in front. Intelligentsia went to 2nd. Canmuru is a half length away 3rd, and that trio 6 lengths in front of Egyptian Lass. Glam making heavy weather of it, and then Terzima, followed by We Do Remember as they're well in the straight. Archie Maximus with 250 to go on the inside of Canmuru. Intelligentsia, and now Glam is starting to thunder down the centre of the track. The filly responds to Jet. Glam moved up, hit the lead from Canmura. Glam in front. Solfilia came late. Glam.
Yeah, she was too good for him today. I think she's a city class filly. I thought the 1000's way too short for her, but she really accelerated nicely when Jet Newman got to the outside on her. I think you'll see her step into a city class race her next start, probably over the 6 furlongs, and I think she'll be very, very hard to beat there. So race 4, number 2, True Fairy, and race 5, number 10, Glam. That's my Take Two. 2 Take Two horses out of the Casinos meeting today.
Racing was at Bathurst on Monday the 18th of August. A meeting run under fine skies, albeit very, very chilly conditions. You're not in Queensland anymore, Toto. 7 races. We're on a good 4 track. First time in a little while we've been able to say that. And a really good day of racing. We found a couple of horses that we can follow going forward. Mine comes up out of the first. Now, if you're like Kian and I, and you're all aboard the Zoo Fame train today, you would be very, very disappointed. $1.70 into $1.40, and he goes under. But he's a $500,000 colt. He was a lovely type in the yard. He does finish second, and the thing I liked about his effort, I suppose, was that he was coming again on the line. Have a look at him here. He's in the orange colours. He finishes second behind Whiskey George, and not a bad effort, all things considered.
They race along the side now past the 600. And Whiskey George, 3/4 of a length now on Zoo Fame. Q-Weight's getting a bit closer. It's on the outside of Blarney Stone and William Smile. And Twin Gift up to the home turn now. They've got about 350 left to go. And Whiskey George first around the corner. Zoo Fame is now zooming up on the outside. Blarney Stone back along the rails. Q-Weight. It's Zoo Fame going to Whiskey George. Whiskey George is fighting back well. Zoo Fame given a touch with a Persuader now. Whiskey George fights on, followed by Q8. Whiskey George is fighting back well. Zoo Fame is trying to get there. Whiskey George holds on to beat Zoo Fame.
As I mentioned, if you jumped into the shorts, you're filthy with him, but he's still a colt, so they've got an option there. He'll have learned a lot from today, travelling away from home, his first big trip away. Robbie Downey said afterwards he just didn't really know how to execute,
how to let down
through the race. I think if he does that, he probably goes on and wins pretty comfortably. So I'll be looking for him wherever they take him next time, maybe just to, back to the bush or to the provincials just for a bit more education. But I don't think it wins too far away for Zoo Fame. Kian, your horse to follow came up out of race 3.
It was our Emily. She contested a Class 1 over the 1,200 metres. She was second up off what was a really flashing light sort of run, first up over the unsuitable trip at the 1,000, and that was in a Class 3 at Tamworth. She dawdled out, showed no urgency. There was plenty of pace on early, and just saw her have a wall of traffic when trying to let down late.
Our Emily's getting a long way back. Wrong-footed goes around the outside of it, and Kirk was last of all, so they come off the back, and Brutalised takes up the running. Out by 2.5 lengths now. Boulevarnaka. There's good ones going around the outside of Boulevarnaka now. Precise Miss was fourth. Then came Kobold Defence. Let Rip, 2.5 back to Wrong-footed. They're Our Emily, and Kirk is last. Brutalised leads for home on the outside. Good Ones is attacking. Boulevarnaka trying to come through between them. Kobold's getting up along the fence. Further out, Let Rip, and Precise Miss down the outside. Well in the straight, Boulevarnaka the leader. Kobold's finishing well along the rails. Boulevarnaka. Kobold is finishing well now. Kobold right through on the inside. They go the line. I think Kobold might have won here from either Boulevarnaka or Brutalised. Our Emily came home well.
As you can see, Ben, I thought she was probably a good thing beaten, actually. Perhaps if she was able to hold that spot early in the race, but all things being equal, she probably looks for a 1,400 metres now.
Yeah, and just when Emma Lee was looking for runs, they sort of half closed on her, and it was just a bit of a horror show all around, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit muddly. She had to get off heels of a tiring one late, but she's hit the line nice.
Yeah, exactly right. So the two horses to follow out of Bathurst today are Zoo Fame and Our Emily.
Take two time racing was at Scone this Tuesday, the 19th of August. We had a 7-race card. We started off on a soft 6 and had an upgrade throughout the afternoon. We ended up finishing up on a soft 5 track. A couple of horses I'm keen to follow moving forward. The first horse I want to highlight went around in race number 3 on the card in the 900 metre maiden. A first starter going by the name of Better Late was a well-backed favourite, trained by Nathan Doyle, set up outside the lead and showed a really good turn of foot.
Up to the home turn, they've got 500 metres to go. Orfanelli leads by one on the favourite Better Late. Equitable behind those. Idford a bit tight for room. Another bad decision railing up in the straight. The favourite Better Late is about to come after this leader. He's got a good hold on this, Morgan. It cruises up on the outside and hits the lead. Better Late boots away by 2 or 3 lengths. Coming from the back was Speed of Gold. Boxing on another bad decision, but with 100 metres left to go. Better Late's home and hosed. Favourite is racing away. Better Late is too good. Wins it well.
Well, he was only having his first start in a race today, and I thought it was a really professional effort. He's obviously got plenty of gears, and I think he'll be winning more races very soon. Next horse I want to follow in around in race number 5 on the card. Another first starter, a Tacitly from the Archibald stable. Had trialled quite well at Randwick leading into his first start in a race today. Didn't show a lot of early speed, but watch the way he gets home.
To the turn they race. Satin Sparkle kicks into the straight, 1.5 lengths in front of Xerxes. Gets away the leader, Satin Sparkle. Flat's a bit flat-footed. Smart Buy's running on now. Further back was Simply Gold coming up the inner part of the track, but Satin Sparkle, the one they've got to get. Hutchings draws the Persuader. Favourite gives chase. Smart Buy a length away. It's Satin Sparkle, 100 metres to go. Smart Buy's within a half. It's gobbling it up. Smart Buy goes home too well. Gets up to win from photo finish there. Satin Sparkle trying to cling on to second. The fast finishing Simply Gold and also on the outside Tacitly made it interesting for the Miners.
The favourite Smart Buy was too smart in the end, but I think Tacitly, certainly a horse worth following, particularly if he gets onto a big track, maybe out over 1,400 metres or a little further in the coming weeks. So the two horses to follow out of this Scone meeting this Tuesday, the 19th of August, are Better Late and Tacitly.
Plenty of highlights out of this 7-race program at Albury on Tuesday. We started on a heavy 8. We went to a 7 as the day progressed. The rail was well out. but the winners come from here, there and everywhere, didn't they? What'd you find?
Yeah, they did. Parthenope was probably one of the main winners to follow out of the meeting, but there was a couple of nice horses to follow behind them. Now, Donna Scott doesn't usually go a meeting at her home track without getting a winner, but we both come up with her horses as Take Two horses. My horse is a horse called Kickstart. It was having its first run with Donna, was formerly with the Price stable based at Kembla there. Now, its runs at Kembla were all over the 1200 and they did stretch it out to a mile eventually, where it just wasn't quite up to provincial grade. But first up over the 900 today was probably always going to find him a little bit too short. But as we pick him up down the straight, he really finds the line strong to run second, just couldn't quite reel in the favourite in Luna Mojo.
Kickstart comes to the outside and further back in the race. Has he got it? Luna Mojo out wide on the track. The favourite goes up, hits the front from Metro Girl. Trinity is running a bit of a race. Kickstart down the outside. Has he got it's coming through with Bron? It's Luna Mojo. Metro Girl the inside. Luna Mojo takes the lead, the favourite, and breaks through today. Luna Mojo won it well. Good go for the Miners. Kickstart probably second.
We spoke to Donna and she said that they use that more as a trial. So the fact that he attacked the line that well first up, I think he'll take good improvement out of that and should be breaking his maiden pretty quickly now that he's based in the country.
Well, Luna Mojo took 10 stars. What did it have? 2/3 and 5 seconds before winning it. Finally got there. Part of a good day for Pierre Goodvillain, who had a few winners on the program. My horse to follow is Fort Cheval. It also comes out of the Donna Scott stable, only lightly raced. It's just had the 2 starts. Now, as we pick them up, it's out in front. Party Boss having his second start this time in. He was quite impressive in winning. He just able to get up on the outside and wear down Fort Cheval, but a win's not too far off for the Aubrey Train Galloper.
600 to go. 2 lengths to McPhillamy, then Chevrolet Star. And a long way back, Tornado Anwar with Lover Man. 450 to go. They straighten up. Fort Cheval is the leader here from Reef Road. Party Boss on the outside coming into it. Relotti's going for a split in the centre, and Tornado Anwar down the outside with a pretty good run. They're down to the 250 metre mark. Party Boss hits the front here. Battling away Fort Cheval. Then Reef Road. Behind them Roulotti. Then Tornado Anwar, but it's Party Boss and Fort Cheval. Party Boss, the favourite, takes the lead from Fort Cheval. It's Party Boss and Fort Cheval. And Party Boss beat Fort Cheval.
Pretty good again. That run was in contrast to his first performance when he sort of got out wide, came off a couple of trials. Today, second run of his career, he was really good. So both our runners come out of the Donna Scott stable, Fort Cheval and Kickstart from Albury on Tuesday.
Racing at Newcastle on Saturday the 23rd of August. We were racing on a heavy 10, but remarkably this track played absolutely beautifully. We did see horses getting out a little bit wide later on in the day, which is to be expected, but I found two really nice horses to follow the meeting today. And the first of those comes out of race number 3. It was Zoo Field. This colt by Zoo Star was on debut from the Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott stable. He was able to lead in the small field. He gives a very good kick at the top of the straight. He's in the blue colours.
As they run to the 450 and they run into the home straight, and Zoo Field drifts about 5 off the inside. Parfumier immediately under pressure to go after it. They've got away from Miss McLean, who's 2 lengths away and being put under pressure. They've dropped off Billy Bowleg. It's Zoofield, though, going for home. 200 metres out, led by a length over Parfumier. Miss McLean trying to pick up late down the outside, but Zoofield is coming away the last little bit. This Zoostar colt wins on debut, and Zoofield eased up, wins by 3.5.
As you can see, he put an absolute margin on his rivals. He's a horse that's still learning his craft, but he's going to be a very nice horse in time, and I think he'll even get out over a little bit further. The other horse to follow out of the meeting today comes out of race number 6. It was Thundering Soul. This gelding had to go a long way back from the wide gate. He wants to lay in a little over the final stages. He's in the orange and white colours.
And Thundering Soul jumping onto the back of Outer Candy. Around the bend, Sesame Timbers is the leader. Once again, drifts about 5-6 off the inside. Mr. Rocket coming after it. Oakfield Duke is now produced out in the centre of the track. River Pat out of Candy. Thundering Soul the outside. Behind those then came Rebel Rhapsody. Oakfield Duke being collared by River Pat on the outside. Oakfield Duke, River Pat got ahead in front. Thundering Soul is now starting to thunder down the outside. Oakfield Duke, River Pat, Thundering Soul, Oakfield Duke lifted. Oakfield Duke gets in over Thundering Soul.
I think if he just learns to run straight, he certainly probably could have won that race, but he's not far off winning one. He's been placed his last two, and he just needs to just amend those manners over the final stages. He won't be far off winning another race. The two horses to follow out of the meeting today are Thundering Soul and Zoofield.
It was Goulburn Cup Day on Sunday. What a race it was, our feature race. Another horse into the big dance, of course. But the local trainers went well, particularly early on. Danielle Seib only had the one runner for a winner. And the horse you like is one of hers out of the first.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a great run, Son of Rubik. Her winner looks very promising going forward. And when we spoke to Danielle, she said it's in probably the top 5 of her young horses coming through. But I thought that made Son of Rubik's run look even better. Now, when we also spoke to Danielle, she said she wished she had been able to give him just one more trial leading into this first up run. So having a look at him and knowing that he's maybe a touch underdone, he had to switch across heels halfway down the straight. I love the way he attacks line. We'll pick him up now.
Back in 5th position is Son of Rubik and then the Rose Dragon, and a bit sus will follow them round for practice. It's 8 away last, 500 to go. Shaft Attack in front from Spread the Love second, Mary LeBone, Man Worry, Son of Rubik, and then came the Rose Dragon. They're on the turn, 350 to go. Shaft Attack just about joined by the short price favourite Spread the Love, who looks to travel better. Sidled up alongside of Shaft Attack. Man Worry got to third, and Mary LeBone back on the far side. Spread the Love's in front, hasn't quite put them away. It's only narrowly in front from Mary LeBone. Spread the Love, gee, it's getting desperate. Mary LeBone second. Spread the Love's hanging on from Mary LeBone, and it fell in. Spread the Love, short price favourite, just got home in the first from Mary LeBone, Son of Rubik.
There can only be more improvement come from him off the back of such a good run. And as I said, to be able to run third behind a handy horse on a heavy track, I think he'll be breaking through pretty quickly this prep.
Yeah, my horse that I think will be winning very shortly is Magical Moments. Comes out of the Beyond Baker stable. Loomed up as if it was going to win. It runs third on this occasion, but I thought the effort was full of merit. Now, it's had a few runs this time in, but it's knocking on the door, getting closer and closer. Our winner was too good, but it loomed up. Probably the last little bit, it just sort of flattened out a little bit, but Magical Moments, my horse to follow. Here it is out wide.
Magical Moments, who gets to the outside, so they've come back to them, these two. Omnic Via Varello's gone. So Crazy in Love, Dimitrov and Magical Moments. They're making their runs down the outside. So Crazy in Love, 200 to go. Hit the front with Magical Moments. Lunar Angels coming through. So Crazy in Love's just in front. So Crazy in Love from Lunar Angel. So Crazy in Love. So Crazy in Love beat Lunar Angel. Magical Moments has run third.
Pretty solid. It's nearing a win. Maybe it might head to Nowra or something like that in a couple of weeks' time, but Magical Moments for mine, and the one for Kayla, Son of Rubik, out of our big meeting on Goulburn Cup Day.
It was Narromine Cup Day, Sunday the 24th of August, a bumper 9-race program run under beautiful skies in pleasant conditions, a good crowd on track as well, and a real sense that spring is in the air. I found a couple of horses out of the meeting that we can follow going forward. The first of them comes up out of race number 1, a stallion by the name of Straight South, trained at Scone by Alex Martin. He was on debut today. If, like me, you're on him, it was an absolute horror show. You'll see him, he's in the green and brown colours. He was a little bit slow out, which you can't do over the 800. And then he wanted to do so much wrong. Yeah, for a lot of the race, he wasn't even in the picture. Coming around the turn, he was a clear last. Look at the way he finishes off late. He's ultimately only beaten a couple of lengths behind the long-priced winner. There she goes.
Straight they come, and Scarlet Monarch is very wide now, had gone up to Yes Ma, who's nearer the rail. Scarlet Monarch, Elderberry Wine is coming home well. Scarlet Monarch, there she goes, getting through along the rails. They're coming with a rush now. There she goes. There she goes, has beaten Yes Ma, and Scarlet Monarch, gee, Straight South was rattling home.
He'd only had one trial leading into that. The trial was pretty good at Scone. I think he qualifies as a blinker horse. I think they need to go on. You could see him zigging and zagging there in the straight, but Sienna Grimer came back and said that he, if he did everything right, he would have clearly won. So we'll get another chance with Straight South. The other horse to follow comes up out of race number 5 on the program. This was a benchmark 66, again over the 800 metres. Her name is Violet and Blue. She's trained by Catherine Carl at Cowra. Now, she was first up from a break today with only one soft trial under her belt. She'd had a pretty lengthy break over the summer period. And she resumed here, stepping out in benchmark 66 company for the first time. She zooms up the inside. She ultimately finishes third in the race won by Destiny's Bounty.
Towards the home turn, Rothgate was back about third last, followed by Smart and Dapper, and Kev's Girl is last. Destiny's Bounty had booted through, and the lead Super Sue, who's on the outside further out Castle Bar Road. Rothgate to the extreme outside, Violet and Blue is getting the rails run. Destiny's Bounty in front, Super Sue comes after it. Super Sue went up to Destiny's Bounty, Violet and Blue coming home well along the rails. Destiny's Bounty's giving a kick here. Super Sue comes at it. Destiny's Bounty beats Super Sue, Violet and Blue.
I thought she was enormous there. She was taking on some pretty handy sprinters, stepping out of benchmark 58 in Class 1 company for the first time in a long time, and she was very, very good there. She wasn't beaten all that far. She came up the inside section of the track, which by that time of the day probably wasn't the place to be, which adds even more merit to her run. So I think when she gets to 900 or 1,000 metres, that'll be her go. She's come back in really good order. So the two horses to follow out of Narromine today are Straight South and Violet and Blue.
Hope you enjoyed the program this week, and we look forward to doing it all again next time around, and hope we have the pleasure of your company then. Bye for now.